The Matrix affected my life and many others throughout the years. Keanu Reeves shared something new about The Matrix at 60. He was silent for years. He broke the silence after one tearful interview. I've met several folks who say The Matrix has touched them positively. The best. What was harmful enough to keep secret for 20 years? Why is he speaking now? This is no ordinary behind-the-scenes narrative, something deeper. He was forbidden to reveal it. Stay with us because Keanu's revelations may transform your Matrix view forever. The reluctant star who became one. We must start from the beginning to understand Keanu's terrifying remarks and the Matrix's unnerving truth. Keanu Reeves never sought celebrity like others. He was famous in the late 1990s for Speed, Point Break, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. But he wasn't after box office dominance. He'd rather make indie or Shakespearean films than work in Hollywood. It wasn't an easy yes when he got the Matrix script. He didn't get it at first. The Wachowskis wrote something more like a control, and waking up from life's illusion wasn't conventional for a blockbuster. Most actors declined. Will Smith notoriously declined for Wild Wild West. Nicolas Cage refused to leave his family. Studio wasn't sure it would work and didn't expect Keanu to carry it, but something captivated him. Maybe it was mysterious. Maybe it was the test. Or maybe he couldn't shake the idea that this script spoke something no one else in Hollywood dared. He didn't finish. Not now. Yet, he understood it mattered. He joined. He then underwent his most severe training, a 4-month martial arts boot camp with choreography, wire work, and physical discipline. Keanu dived in. Since production had budget concerns, he gave up part of his compensation to keep the staff employed. Not a publicity stunt. It was Keanu. He didn't play Neo like an action hero from the start. His performance is quiet. Even hesitation. Neo is no braggart. Not screaming. He listens. He doubts. He changes. That storyline matched Keanu's acting development. He didn't become a select one. He wondered what being chosen meant. Behind the scenes, cast and crew saw his seriousness. He questioned the script deeply. Not just fight scenes, but thoughts. Is reality? Our freedom? How do we know? Why bother if choice is a lie? They weren't throwaway lines to him. They fueled the story. So that set him apart from the other actors the studio examined. Most thought The Matrix was a futuristic action picture with spectacular VFX. Keanu saw it as a warning, reflection, something personal. He didn't want to represent a generational franchise. He retreated once the film became a global hit. Keanu focused on motorbike excursions, peaceful moments, and tiny ventures while others seized on celebrity. He never pretended to carry a billion-dollar film. He didn't care about that. Keanu still doesn't brag about The Matrix. People who made it possible are mentioned. Wachowski vision. The crew's commitment. Cast chemistry. Every fan understands it wouldn't have worked without him. Neo was never supposed to shine. He was meant to be inquiring, vulnerable, and searching. Keanu Reeves wasn't flawless in that way. He was the only option. He eventually let The Matrix believe in him. Matrix was more than a film. A warning. The Matrix appeared to be another sci-fi action film. Black leather, kung fu, bullet time, cool effects, sleek digital shell. But underneath was a message. Silent alarm bell in code. According to film insiders, that message almost didn't make it to theaters. Philosophy has always captivated the Wachowskis, especially those that challenge reality. Early scripts didn't involve machines taking over the Earth, just the delivery system. Their genuine message was more awkward. Already in prison, we don't see the bars. Jean Baudrillard's writings on hyperreality, where individuals live in simulations, inspired me. Simulacra and simulation was not merely a set reading, written into the script. Neo conceals his illegal software in a hollowed-out book. Not merely clever set design, a hint. This is the thing. Not popular with the studio. They wanted action. A blockbuster was desired. While they liked the tech-noir aesthetic, they were wary of going too abstract. The Wachowskis garnered additional criticism as the film explored power, surveillance, and choice. However, Keanu leaned in. He became a silent supporter of the film's style and content. In interviews, he rarely mentioned stunts. He talked about freedom, waking up, and how we may not be in control of our lives as we think. He didn't act famous. His actions indicated he recognized this narrative was bigger than him. Early Matrix versions saw Neo lose. The illusion is too deep to escape, and the system adjusts and absorbs resistance. These versions tested poorly. Studio bosses wanted a clearer arc, a messianic figure, a hero's journey, something hopeful and sellable. Some ideas were buried. Softened lines, trimmed subplots, reduced ambiguity. Machines become evil. Fans had to discover the deeper meanings of the Matrix after it became computer software. But that warning, it persisted. The red pill wasn't about waking up from robots. It meant waking up from comfort, routine, and systems that reward obedience and punish curiosity. Not the effects, but the message impacted people deep inside, making the picture so powerful. They recognized themselves in Neo, the lost one staring blankly at a computer, wondering if life is more than what they're getting. Keanu claimed off camera that the Matrix wasn't science fiction. It was now. That the metaphor had arrived, and most of us had logged in. The studio may have covered the rougher edges, but the idea that we're living in a dream we didn't pick persisted. Perhaps Keanu kept returning to the part year after year because he realized people hadn't heard the movie's true message. They weren't awake. Real loss behind fiction. The Matrix is known for its effects, philosophy, and innovative graphics. The agony behind it is rarely discussed. Keanu Reeves brought emotional weight to that scene, not wire work or months of martial arts instruction. Before Neo died on screen, Keanu had lost more than most could understand. Keanu grieved in 1999, The Matrix's release year. His partner, Jennifer Syme, had lost their daughter months ago, 8-month-old stillborn. It broke them. They split soon after but remained close. Just 2 years later, Jennifer perished in a vehicle crash. The family Keanu almost began to vanish, but he kept coming. He worked quietly and consistently without attention. Since Keanu didn't make headlines with heartbreak, most of the world didn't realize what he was going through. He let it live inside him, and it appeared in every shot of the film. With this knowledge, rewatching The Matrix is different. Neo's lost, unconnected, purposeless moments aren't merely character moments. Mirrors reflect. The solitude Keanu felt wasn't far away. He was living it. Later set workers stated he seemed focused but withdrawn, always kind but distant. He didn't seek fame. He worked there. That effort became an expression, whether he admitted it or not. Grief outlet. A way to use what he couldn't say to matter. Neo has a grief that's rarely discussed. He's the hero. Gets the girl and fights bad men. Despite victory, loneliness persists. A weight. Like he knows the truth but can't tell everyone. That emotion. That frightening separation is unfakeable. No need for Keanu. Jennifer's death affected more than him. It altered his view of fame, roles, and life. Finished chasing blockbusters. He disappeared between movies. Solo motorbike rider. He walked a set with literature, not bodyguards. He commonly said, "I'm just passing through," when asked why he avoided the spotlight. He never stopped giving. Fans tell many stories about Keanu's unassuming benevolence, giving up his subway seat, buying ice cream for the crew to sign a kid's receipt, donating millions to children's hospitals anonymously. He seemed to think the only way to survive was to keep giving away parts of himself. It's strange, but the Matrix became therapy, a world where suffering worked. Loss can become clarity. Neo was no superhero. In a system he didn't want, he tried to find purpose after everything came apart. That was Keanu. Still Keanu. Many felt that way, even if they couldn't articulate it. They saw themselves in silent sadness, that silent power. Even after losing everything, you could find the courage to break free. Keanu never marketed his pain. This was always there, beneath the surface. This is one reason The Matrix wasn't only entertaining, resonated. Behind slow-motion gunfights and computer code was a human man battling to survive. He made that sorrow timeless. Removed from sequels. The sequels were highly anticipated when The Matrix became a global phenomenon. Fans wanted answers, not just another movie. Actually, what is The Matrix? What occurs when you wake? What exists beyond the real world? The Wachowskis had enormous ambitions. Not all were filmed. Revolutions were managed carefully while The Matrix reloaded. The studio sought another smash with more action, spectacle, and direct storytelling. That wasn't the plan. Early sequel drafts were more philosophical, ambiguous, and bold. One version has Neo find that the real world isn't real, that it's another simulation level, a safety net for non-matrixers who require a system, controlled uprising, an illusion of independence. One scene with the architect, packed with cryptic language and quick editing, comprised that subplot. Its message was lost on most spectators. Plans called for exploring the Matrix's spirituality. The Wachowskis explored reincarnation, karmic cycles, and separation illusions. Neo and Trinity were to be soul-bound characters who returned to wake others up, not simply lovers or rebels. These layers failed early testing. Too odd. Way too difficult. Though distinctive, what remained was safer. The sequels added fights and chases, but diluted the tougher questions. Instead of a disturbing social mirror, they became fantastic sci-fi adventures. Smart and attractive, but safer. Keanu never openly criticized the alterations. No, not his way. In certain interviews, when asked about deeper issues, his replies grew shorter and more vague, as if he didn't want to say the wrong thing or wasn't allowed to. He apparently worked to keep difficult concepts intact behind the scenes. He believed in mythology. He wanted to maintain the original tone, but even he had to follow the rules. The studio didn't want uneasy viewers. They wanted franchise profitability. This doesn't mean the sequels failed. They were ambitious, visually stunning, and full of ideas most blockbusters wouldn't touch. They felt incomplete for those seeking a deeper message about control and illusion, like the first film, like an abruptly ended conversation. A major change, the end. Early versions of Neo's last act didn't involve a truce. The system, Matrix, Zion, and everything were supposed to be rejected. Complete reset. A warning that no structure, not even a rebellion, was trustworthy. It would have left too many questions and little hope. It was un-Hollywood. So, they rewrote. Neo sacrifices himself as Christ, and the robots make peace. It was clean. It concluded. But it wasn't the story's intended finish. Keanu must have been frustrated. He'd committed to truth in fiction. Now, some of that truth was being clipped for a box. Fans still argue about the Matrix sequels years later. Translation errors, cutting room floor leftovers. All the while, Keanu was silent, loyal. But he always seemed to know something we didn't, that anything real was hidden behind wirework and CGI, and it wouldn't stay buried forever. We must discuss one more item before discussing Keanu's Matrix revelations. Reflection or resurrection? Neo returns. When the Matrix Resurrections were announced in 2019, reactions were varied. Some supporters were hopeful, others doubtful. Why resurrect Neo and Trinity? Was this another nostalgia reboot? Was there more? No franchise revival was enough for Keanu Reeves. A deeply personal matter, and that changed everything. The fourth film was not boardroom-driven. Lana Wachowski, without Lily, sent it. Her return to the Matrix wasn't driven by fan demand or money. Grief. She lost her parents and a close friend recently. Lana said resurrecting Neo and Trinity helped her cope in interviews. These two characters perished, she said. I didn't want that type of grief, so I returned them. That moved Keanu. So much had been lost. His daughter, partner, and pals. Now was the chance to return to a world that understood sorrow. The world was always more than machines and simulations. So he agreed. Help shape a new story, not repeat the old. The press tour revealed that this Keanu wasn't from 1999. He was older, calmer, and introspective at 57. He seemed closer to Neo than before. He didn't discuss clothing or choreography when asked about returning. He spoke about love, remembrance, and the peculiar comfort of returning to something that never left him. And the film? Unlike anything fans expected. Instead of expanding, Resurrections dug deeper. It challenged reboots, sequels, and storytelling. Instead of a dystopia with agents in leather jackets, it depicted the Matrix as something more familiar. Social media, screens, infinite distractions disguised as freedom. Neo is no more. He's Thomas Anderson again, locked in an odd universe that's impossible to understand. Medication, monitoring, and constant advice to ignore his instincts. Sound familiar? The point The film focused less on fighting robots and more on combating the illusion that everything is fine when it's not. Trinity's return was strong. She's the awakening's other half, not merely a love interest. A reminder of Neo's true self. Even though it was sci-fi, their reunion was raw and poignant. Both characters and actors felt closure and regeneration. This made it hit harder. Keanu's real-life reaction. He was honored with a fan-made video in an Esquire interview advertising the film. It featured movie highlights, behind-the-scenes footage, and real-life kindness. Keanu watched silently, tears in his eyes. After a time, he said, "Wow." In one of his few camera appearances, he nearly cried. Real and unpromotional, that moment communicated more than any interview. The Matrix Resurrections didn't continue a story. It involved finishing something that had always felt incomplete. Keanu could speak what was left unsaid to Neo, Trinity, the audience, and possibly even himself. Not a retort, but a conversation. One paused for 20 years. That conversation brought the truth closer. They made him hide it. The part he could finally speak. The truth. Keanu Reeves stood across from Stephen Colbert for The Matrix's 25th anniversary in 2024. Most expected a pleasant talk with bullet time jokes or a nostalgic film montage. It began like way. Colbert played clips from Keanu's career. The mood changed slightly when The Matrix came up. Keanu's posture and smile shifted. He looked down when asked what the film meant to him 25 years later. He whispered, "It changed my life." I suppose it changed people's worldview after a pause. The audience fell silent. There was something about his delivery. More like a man holding something he'd waited years to speak than a performer reminiscing. Colbert didn't press, but home viewers noticed immediately. What transpired following the interview heightened the moment. Keanu's friend said he spoke more honestly after that interview. He revealed what had been kept secret for 20 years, what he was advised against saying. It was a tipping point. After 60 years, Keanu Reeves revealed The Matrix's truth. Keanu clarified in a discreet chat with close partners months after the Colbert interview. The Matrix was never about robots or the future, he added. It was current. We're stuck in invisible systems. The unexpected line followed. I was forced to hide this, he replied. The early script had sequences. Neo discovers that the real world is an illusion. Second layer, another Matrix. But the studio claimed it was too much, unclear and unsafe. They didn't want people questioning reality, he said. They sought a sellable narrative. Hero, love story, antagonist. Not anything that makes you check your phone for free time. It didn't sound bitter to listeners. It sounded exhausted, like someone having held on to the truth too long. It fit. Because fans have seen the same abnormalities over time. Unfulfilled philosophical threads. Early reports of radical endings. In press interviews, Keanu kept quiet about the deeper message. But he's revealing it. To one close friend, he said The Matrix will wake people up. The final cut lulled them to sleep. Give them entertainment instead of freedom. I agreed, since I didn't know what I could say. Just that comment reframes everything. Neo was never supposed to save machines. His purpose was to mirror us. A reminder that our habits, screens, and crafted realities are as controlling as the digital prison he escaped. Keanu has experienced both. Fame, pain, silence, freedom, delusion. He played Neo as a message, not a character. He played by the rules for 25 years, until now. Clarity comes with age. Keanu finally spoke at 60. They had me hide this, but it's always been there. Just look closer. Suddenly, the fiction broke. The red pill was more than a story device. It was hard. One thing they never wanted us to accept. Yet, Keanu did. So, he's passing it on. Given Keanu's admission that The Matrix was never fiction, what portion of your reality have you mistaken for freedom?